I'm a filmmaker. And my first love and entry to this profession was screenwriting. I was 12 years old when I discovered screenwriting and I fell deep into it. I quickly learned to write a screenplay in a few days, and after a few months, I had a full 120-page script ready to go. It wasn't great, but it was finished. Flash forward to the present day, I would say that's my problem. I've struggled to complete feature film scripts in recent years, my last one being probably a decade ago. So this week, I'm not only writing a feature film in 72 hours, I am also challenging myself to merge 2 random movies together into one feature-length screenplay. Will it be good? Will I even succeed? I have no fucking clue. Alright, the first step is to gather the movies. I am randomly selecting 2 movies from a pool of 8. I've asked 7 of my friends for the movies off the top of their heads, and I'll be putting one down as well. So my movie is Silence of the Lambs.
Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. E.T. Extraterrestrial.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest.
Groundhog Day.
The Conjuring.
Moana.
Oh my god. That was so close.
It doesn't matter! Now tell me why!
Because you did it again!
It's actually one of my favorite movies. Oh, The Conjuring. Okay.
Sancta Michaela Arcangele, defende nos in proelio.
So here are the rules. Number 1, I have the full 72 hours to do this. Number 2, the script does not have to be polished, it just has to be finished. Number 3, the script has to be at least 90 pages long. Number 4, the script must have a recognizable aspect from each of the 2 movies. Number 5, the script doesn't have to be good, but it does have to make some sort of sense. Ambiguous films are fine as long as they make sense in that way.
This makes sense.
Number 6, the script must be fully printed by the 72-hour mark, and that's it. Anything else goes. Now, I'm gonna go watch these movies, and I'll see you in a few days. Low-key, I'm kind of nervous about doing this. I don't know if I'm gonna actually finish. This is what I usually do with my scripts, is that I usually just tell myself it doesn't have to be good, it just has to be finished.
I try not to rush things usually. I think doing challenges are important too, but I've never felt the need to do it just because my writing process, I feel like I gradually just accumulate the ideas.
And another aspect about the challenge is the 2 movies. So the 2 movies that got chosen was Inception,
Okay.
and The Conjuring.
So a horror thriller.
Yeah.
Psychological.
So I gotta find some way to mix The Conjuring and Inception together.
Sounds like it's a good mix too. Something new. I want to see what you come up with for sure. It's gonna be a challenge.
It's gonna be a challenge, 72 hours. But yeah, that's the timer. I set it. So I have 72 hours to write a feature film. With that, the challenge has begun. I started with listing out aspects of each movie to help conjure up some ideas. No pun intended. I came up with one immediately, but I wanted one more just in case. Then I thought about the 2 ideas and which one spoke to me for about 10 minutes. Then I went with my gut. A group of paranormal investigators infiltrate the mind of a man who is possessed by a demon. And with the idea selected and ready to go, the next step was characters. The protagonist, deuteragonist, and the antagonist. Sorry, I've been saying and spelling deuteragonist wrong throughout the entire video. For those who don't know what a deuteragonist is, it's the second most important character of the story. I like to think of them like the character version of the MacGuffin. Alright, back to the characters. For the protagonist, a stoic paranormal investigator. For the antagonist, let me do some research.
During one session with Zozo, Evans had to rush into the bathroom where his girlfriend was giving their daughter a bath. His girlfriend was gone, the tub was overflowing, and his daughter was drowning. He believes that Zozo was behind this.
Let's just call him a sleep demon. Now for the deuteragonist, in my mind, the deuteragonist was the character that was being possessed by the demon. But I didn't want to make him your typical character with a typical family. I wanted something more unique. A caring brother taking care of his sisters. Now idea is set, characters are set, it's time to plot it out. I decided to go with Adam Skelter's 4-act structure. He essentially breaks up the second act into 2 acts. Another thing I learned from him was start with figuring out your dramatic question, aka break into 2, and the climax of the story. And essentially the climax is when you want to answer the dramatic question of the story. After that, I continued writing out the rest of the plot points, and after an hour of planning and plotting, it was time. The goal today is to write 20 pages, tomorrow 35, and then Thursday 35. Oh, kind of nervous. Okay, let's go. First scene. I don't know. Okay, got it.
Notice that already at this stage of the scene,
Take time. At page 16, I started getting tired, but I really wanted to reach my goal, so I pushed on. By the time I hit page 19, I was wide awake as I was writing a scene I was really excited for. This was the moment I fell in love with the story. This may be obvious, but I think that's important as a writer. You have to love your story and your characters. Up to this point, I didn't really care much, but it was at page 20 when I started really falling in love with all of them. I just wrote a really fun scene, and I feel like I'm kind of stuck now. The scene I wrote just now was the impetus scene, the inciting incident. Now I'm trying to come up with a way for the character negotiation, how the character comes to the protagonist to ask for help. Alright, yeah, I think actually maybe the best thing to do is just to give it some time, think it over, and get back to it tomorrow morning. Maybe I shouldn't overthink it. I tend to do that. I tend to overthink. Just write. Whatever comes out. Alright, with that, day 1 comes to a close. Save. I woke up at 9 a.m. Coffee in one hand and a granola bar in the other. And I was ready to tackle day 2. Or so I thought. I couldn't really bring myself to get started, So I decided to help motivate myself. Using AI art, I created portraits of each of my characters based off of actors that I think would best portray them. This did the trick. I'm having trouble concentrating. I just concentrate better at night, so. First complication. I'm halfway through. I'm literally stuck. The second act. 49 pages. The goal is to get to 55 pages today. I mean, worst case, if I can't get to 55 today, let me at least get to 50. And tomorrow, I'm gonna have to write 40 pages tomorrow. No, I'm gonna try really hard to get to 55 and I'm not there. If I haven't made good progress by, let's say, 1:30, I think I'm gonna stop. I have a rough idea what's gonna happen next. Let's go. So right now it is 1:49 a.m. and I'm at 52 pages. Goal was 55, but I feel like I've stopped at a good point. Like I know what happens next, sort of. That's what I'm gonna do before I go to sleep. Is I'm gonna make a plan of attack for tomorrow. I'm gonna map out the scenes for the rest of the movie. I'm a little worried, to be honest. I feel like I'm not gonna make 90 pages, not because of time, but because I might finish the script earlier than 90 pages. I mean, if I have to stretch out scenes, I should stretch out scenes. Let's see how far we can get. Alright, here I am. It is 9:43 p.m. Day 3. The challenge ends tomorrow at 1:35 p.m. I'm at page 77. and I'm at the climax. And you know that scene from The Exorcist where the priests are like, the power of Christ compels you.
The power of Christ compels you!
Yeah, I just copied that. To be fair, I don't know much about exorcisms, and I really love that scene. And right now, I actually like rewrote the scene. Not because I'm being a perfectionist. No, it's purely for the challenge because the way I wrote it was he just said it once and I just moved on and that was it. I decided to stretch it out as long as possible. Does two things. One, it gives me more pages. And number two, it creates more tension. I don't think the aftermath scene should take long. Almost done. 13 pages left. Page 87. Let's go. The end. Oh my god. I can't believe I did it. Been a rough 3 days, but I did it. I wrote a 90-page screenplay. Somehow got it to be 90 pages exactly. 72 hours. It's not the best script and definitely needs work. I think it's a decent script. It's a decent starting point if I really want to pursue the script. Ooh, man. Let go. At this moment, I was feeling a range of emotions. The satisfaction that I completed the challenge and that I can finally go home. But I was also feeling the weird sorrow that I was gonna miss this. As hard as this was, it was still an adventure. And hopefully, there will be more to come.
It starts right